Hello and welcome to the show. It's always a pleasure bringing the way show to your screens every Sunday at about this time. My name is Wole, and I have got someone very, very interesting today that will be talking about some brilliant works he's been doing. And especially one of those brilliant works is about a very important, one of the greatest women to actually come out of the continent of Africa. So we're going to be talking about that. This very brilliant work is going to be coming on Netflix come November the 4th. And we are very proud that this person has chosen to speak to us here before this big, big, massive, epic movie that's coming on Netflix in November 4. Well, before we go ahead, just to let you know, subscribe to the show, okay? And have a look at what we've been doing in the past, all right? And if you do like it, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, all right? Yeah, and like I said, I've got someone who is very interesting that's joined me tonight on this show. He's someone you probably, if you're a very keen follower of Nollywood, and Nollywood is actually Nigerian movies, yeah, okay? If you're very, very, very passionate about Nollywood, or you know you're Nollywood, you probably know this person I'm talking about. And if you also know one of the biggest ever Nollywood movie to have come out back then in 1992. That's a long time ago. It's called Living in Bondage. A very very wonderful, graceful movie that came out back in the days. You will know a certain Polo. And actually, I would rather call him Polo, but that's not his real name. His name is Okay Ogunjiofor. Okay, aka Polo, as I call him. Welcome to this show. It's so nice for you to join me. We were very honored to have you on our show. Thank you for taking that time out of your very busy schedule. I know you've been all over the media talking about this wonderful work that's coming out on November the 4th. And thank you for joining us again. Okay, aka Polo, all, all the way in Nigeria. Welcome to the show.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you. So bear with us, okay, if you're watching, because we're here in London, and obviously, okay, is in Nigeria. So there
Thank you.
a bit
Thank
of
you. Thank
traveling.
you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
a
it.
bit of traveling when it comes to asking the questions and him answering. Okay, we just try as much as possible to remedy. Um, Hello. Let me start by saying it's been a long journey, um, right from living in bondage to where Nollywood is at the moment. Tell us a little bit about living in bondage before we go into the big, big thing we're going to be talking about is IED, your movie coming up on
Okay.
Netflix.
Thank you. The story of living in bondage is quite an interesting one because it's actually a story about every young man out there who um, finds himself between the times when the parents were taking care of them while they were in school and when they have left their parents and now seeking for their own destinies and purpose in life. So they are now on their own trying to find meaningful source of livelihood in order to survive. And within this period in every young man's life, there is always the two for the good and the bad. Because now every dependence you have is no longer there for you. Now the future looks very bleak because you do not actually know what next to do. Especially in this part of the world where um, jobs are very scarce. Even when you have made a lot of good grades in the university and come out here, you find it difficult to find a job that can sustain you. So it's a very difficult period for every young man. So I decided to make a movie in order to illustrate that because I went through that for a very long time in my life. And I thought that it's a global story that every young man will identify. Sleeping in Bombay talks about a story of a young man and the Okeke who left university and came to the city to look for livelihood, couldn't find employment, and then his marriage was caught. He suffered for a very long time, got married to a very beautiful.
Okay, we seem to have lost contact with Lagos, Nigeria, and we're trying to reestablish contact. That was Okey Ogunjiofor, talking about his experience producing Living in Bondage, which was a very massive, one of the pioneering movies back then in the Nollywood, Wall of Nollywood. I was just telling us about, well, the story behind Living in Bondage, as it were. Okay, also acted in the Living in Bondage, like I said, which was a very massive film back then. But he's actually doing something really wonderful. Obviously, he's going to be talking to us about that as soon as we establish contact with him. Um, there we go. All right. Sorry, we lost contact with you for a second there. So, yeah, okay, if you could continue, please. You were talking about, yeah, the experience of living in
Okay,
bondage.
so yes, so yeah, so Andy Okeke got married and then he's having it rough in life. He couldn't actually make ends meet. But back then in school, in secondary school, he had a very good friend called Paulo. And Paulo wasn't too brilliant in school. But you see, being brilliant in school and being brilliant outside the school is a different ballgame entirely. So Andy was very brilliant in school, but now that the two of them are in the world, Andy couldn't find his feet, but somehow Paulo is making it big. So somehow someday they met each other, and then Andy now saw that Paulo was driving a big car, and then asked him how he made it. And eventually he took him, and he lamented his life and every woes that has been befalling him. And Paulo took him to somewhere, gave him food, and he pleaded to um, for Paulo to introduce him into whatever business he did so that two of them can be on the same page. So cut it short, um, Paulo was a ritualist, I mean he was a cultist, according to the story. And then he lured Andy into the cult in order to make easy money, in order to
Mhm.
live good in life. See, the story is all about the tools that young men go through. Paulo did that successfully, survived, and is living big. Andy did it, joined them, and did some rituals and made some money, but Andy didn't have rest of life, rest of mind, because the
Mhm.
wife that he sacrificed in the cult began to hunt Andy, and he never
Yeah.
really enjoyed the work he done. So it's a story where um, the good triumphs over evil. But we have to present it because while I was on the streets, I happened to have run into this group of people. Some who were asking me while I was looking for a job. Of course, when I left school, I came to Lagos. I hawked on the streets of Lagos for 4 years. While I was hawking, life was difficult. And so um, people came to me. Some who wanted us to join them in teaching jobs, some who wanted us to join them in 419, some who wanted us to join in different kinds, even cultism. But um, every family has values, and my parents gave us quite some good values being teachers, and I couldn't see myself in any of those crimes. I
Mhm.
decided to take my destiny in my hands by walking on the street until God showed up for me. And that's how uh, life meant for me until I found money. I found a parent to now be living in bondage. Exactly the story. I was on the street looking for money to produce living in bondage because I had gone to school to read things in Jos, but came to Lagos and there was no job. So the only thing I could do was to hawk instead of school and instead of going to class. And that's what happened. And God smiled when he did after 4 years. And the story is now what they can say is all history.
And Nollywood has evolved, quite a lot, right from that time of living in bondage to where we are at the moment. I was reading one of your past interviews when you said As at that time, you made just about 3,000 naira. That's about, I don't know, less about a few pounds, a few dollars back in then. I mean, for a movie of that magnitude, you were more like one of those pioneers. Because back then we watched in Neka the Pretty Serpent, Living in Bondage was even up to today. It's a massive film, and I read just 3,000 naira, less than, I don't know, 20, 30 pounds.
Mhm.
How so?
The, the truth is that um, um, each time I remember my trajectory in the movie industry, sometimes I feel like pulling out, because I have suffered quite a lot. I have made very good movies, but my parents are poor. They are still alive. They are teachers. They were teachers before they retired. My father is 91, 93 now, and my father, my mom is 87. So you can see these are old people who were teachers. As at the time I left school and wanted to make film school a job, I wanted to make a film. There was no film going culture in Nigeria had already gone because the indigenization decree of 1992-95 by Obasanjo regime and Murtala Mohammed took away the thriving cinema culture that Nigerians had and drove away the whites, the foreign nationals who were the ones running cinema here. And so when we came out having studied film, there was no place where we could play, no platform for us to exploit in order to express ourselves. So it meant that someone will need to rejig or reinvent the industry in such a way that we can develop. Otherwise, we will die. So within that same period, there is no place you can go to, especially banks, to get a loan to make a film because the type of things that people knew then was cellular. And cellular was quite capital intensive, and you just have to have money to make it. And if you don't have money to make it, you must have connections in high places to get loans,
Hmm.
either locally or internationally, in order to get the materials and source for the funds because it's heavy in equipment and in resources. So when we came out and there was no platform and no one was even going to fund things, we needed to recreate it. And one of the things I said to myself was to recreate it by using an ordinary handheld camera to tell stories, professional stories. Tell stories professionally, but not minding the quality of the camera.
Mm,
Because if I want
mm,
to wait for when I'll make money to hire Sony cameras to shoot, I'll just die. So my calculation was just to raise about 150,000, which at that moment would be less. It was more striker because that time
yeah, yeah.
Naira was 90, 90, 90 kobo, 9 naira to a dollar. So if you
Mm,
calculate 150,000, you'll be getting almost like close to 14, $15,000. That's what I was looking for that time. And nobody was going to give it to me. My parents didn't have anything. Even while I was here in Lagos, I was talking with a village uncle who gave me his place to spot while I was looking for my district. No banks could give money, and even if they wanted to give money, we didn't have collaterals to give them. I mean, my parents didn't, there are no buildings, no land that we could sell. So how am I going to survive? It meant that we went to school for nothing. It was at this moment that I decided that okay, instead of stealing, I should go and hawk. Who knows? Peradventure God will smile, and in a few years down the line, I might make quite 150,000. But it was a heavy time. I stayed thinking I would raise that money for 4 years until I began to look like a child. I began to look almost like haggard as someone who didn't go to school. They could hardly believe that I went to school. Because staying under the sun, under the hazardous climatic conditions every day, just to raise money, it's not what a young man who really who went to school should do. But I think that's the dignity of labor. It's better than stealing. So while I was
mm,
doing that, I ran into a group of young men who at the National Theatre were trying to rehearse for some sort of opera pilot that were shooting. I go there every evening to watch them, at least to refresh my mind on what I studied in school. And so someday they made a one stage direction, they made a mistake on the stage direction. When I corrected them, I told them what to do. And to the glory of God, they happened into my voice and did that, and it turned out well for them. So I hope because now I found something that will help me respect myself. And I was not even paid for doing that for 1 month. But God paid me because when I finished that job, one of the artists on that set called Mrs. Lucy now gave me a referral to Kenneth Lagos because Ruth asked me, why are you hawking if you can be this good in telling stories? And I said, I'm actually hawking to raise money to tell a story, to make a film that is not really selling on but just a handheld camera. So he said, I can give you a referral to someone who I know has money. I'm doing some important video cassette for my boy so that you guys can talk. And she did. And I went to Kenneth. She came to me. And Kenneth said, if you're the one, then go and bring your certificate because you don't look like someone who went to school. So I went to I did a while of sporting and came back with my certificate. And then when he saw it and saw my grades, he said, okay, fine, I can believe you. What do you want to do? And I told him the story about living in Monday because those days, the rumor, the rumor was that everybody who made money, people suspected that there must be a because there was no job. So if you
Yeah.
now make it somehow, suspected that you must be
You're an
making it through a
occultist.
secret way. Yeah. So those are so because of that, I told that story, and then I had an encounter while I was talking of some people who wanted me to join them that way. So it is real to me. So he said, okay, let's do that. And that's how the 150,000 was given. And we made it. But you see, because I was coming from the streets, I didn't have an idea. I wasn't a businessman. I didn't have an idea what it means to put up a document as an agreement so that lawyers can defend you
Mhm.
tomorrow. And I didn't have a parent or an uncle who could go and speak on my behalf. So what happened was that the man said to me, if you make this thing and we sell it, the moment that they took my 150,000, whatever the king then we share 50-50. It was straight deal for me. I mean, a young man on the street. And by my calculation, the least we could make on that thing is 10 million naira. Because
Wow.
I was saying, even if we sell 1,000% at 300 naira, it's 10 million. You understand? So if you take away 150,000, take away, even if you take away 1 million, being the cost of production, the printing of packages, and the bringing the tape from abroad, everything, we still have 2 million to share. So I was okay. I said, if this man didn't ask me for an agreement for while he's giving me 150,000, I'm not sure that I will even think of asking for an agreement because if he trusts me that I should use this money and return it, then I should be able also to trust because he's the one who's going to sell it. And so that's how it happened. But while I was doing the production, I collected about 2,000 naira logistics for movement. You know, the next one I collected was when I finished the production because after I shot and the news has gone round and people have seen what we're doing. So distributors were pushing for the release. I had to work 7 days in the studio with two editors. And so I fell sick after that, and I had to ask him to come and bear me in the hospital. He sent me an IOE of 1,500 and a hospital bill. That's how it became 3,500 naira. And that's all I've gotten from the film today.
Wow.
So um, we finished the part one and wanted to do the part two, and I'm now asking him, uh, give me a small, just a little change. Let me hire, even if it's a house where I can stay, even if it's one room. And then let me also have access to good transport because at this moment one has become some popular and not a very good, not popular but material. Because you see, as someone who they are seeing in film who has locked somebody into the account, they think at that moment this thing was coming new, so they think it was real. So people were going to hurt me on the street. So it wasn't easy for me to be moving about. And the guy kept promising me that we'll do this and we'll do that. He was now saying, why don't I wait when you finish part two so we can share the money to be bigger? Now you are trying to share part two money to be bigger for me when I don't even have money to feed now. So I called his bluff and I said, look, fine, if you don't give it to me, I'm not gonna I finished writing part two. But I'm not going to shoot it. So, but because I was working from the office, I didn't have an office. I mean, I was free when he gave me money, to be sure he saw how I spent the money. I was giving one room in the office where I did all the production. So he was understanding what I was doing. Of course, it's not as if he has not make, tried to make things before. But so that's what happened. They tried my car, called all my artists, and then shot the tattoo of the thing. And that's how I
Wow.
did it. I didn't tell that. And so I moved on from there to go and do Circle of Your Neck, the 50 seconds. The story became the same thing because these people are smart. Now, you don't have your own money to make a thing, so you have to get money from somebody. Understand? That's why the Bible says the borrower is a slave. So whoever goes to borrow is actually goes sorrow you. So because you can never, you will always continue to be a slave. You are not the master. The guy who is giving you the money gives it to you on his own terms. And
Mm,
sometimes, because you want to survive, you accept certain terms. Um, even when the agreements are written, who will enforce it for you? What money do I have to
exactly.
call lawyer? So those are the issues. So as a trailblazer, I was used severally. And now other ones who are coming behind me will see these movie tracks and correct them. That's why sometimes when you look at what is going on, you see that most of the people that even trained under me and may be doing better than I am, except that they may not be doing better things than
Hmm. And the more reason why I've said Nollywood is involved. I mean, trailblazers like you, pioneers like you, and I honestly was a party to what you saw back then, because I was in a little bit involved with some of the things you were doing, especially because I was working in the media in Nigeria at that time, and I knew some of the uh, uh, um, difficulties you had to go through, and which is why I'm actually really very excited about this new project that you're bringing out now. I mean, from your experience and from what you've been through, a lot of people actually learn from you. Okay, learn from you. They've now seen the other side of business, which obviously then you did not have the experience, or you didn't have anyone to show you the ropes. So it's all good. It's part of that learning process, and it has brought you to where you are today. You're not just a producer; you are a mega producer. Today, you are producing films from Netflix. You're doing you're producing films on a bigger level than what it was, back then. We are going to go on a short break, and when we come back, what we will be talking about will be this new project I'm talking about, which is Amina. I mean, like I said, we're discussing backstage. A lot of us went to school. A few of us went to school. I went to school. I'm proud to say I went to primary and secondary in Nigeria, secondary school in Nigeria, and we had a little bit of story about this wonderful queen from Zazzau, called Queen Amina. Um, Many of us been to National Theatre in Igom. We see the wonderful piece statue, that sits there. But some of us, a lot of us, even a lot of the younger generations, do not even know who this woman is. I bet some people probably will be running to Google now to just let me type Amina, and see what comes up. And even when you type it, when you
Yeah.
see it, you hardly see more than about 5 paragraphs of what this
True.
woman
True.
was. And it's so exciting because, like I said to you, backstage, we had Tobias Iovoshe, who was on this program some time ago, who actually build a game for Queen Amina. Very interesting one. And we talked a
Yeah.
lot at length about what Tobias done regarding bringing back this woman to the forefront. So we're going to go on a quick break, okay? And when we come back, we're going to talk at length about Amina and what you've done. So stay there. It's still the way show. My name is Wole, and we've got with us today Okey Ogunjiofor, who is the producer of Queen Amina, which is coming up on Netflix in a few days' time. Join us soon.
We protect our women in Zazzau. It has always been this way.
I understand. With your mouth, you set him free yesterday. Or is your word no longer a bond? Or is your bond no longer the law of Zazzau?
Before the night is over, you'll be the most powerful, feared woman in all of Zazzau.
I loved him, Aladi Ameh. He sacrificed his sword to save my life. I know the person responsible for this, Aladi, and he will pay dearly.
My cousin, be careful. War is coming.
Highness, accept the council's condolence over the loss of your father.
After you crowned your new Sarki, whose decision was it?
Clouds of change gather.
And you will do yourself great if you continue on the path of resistance.
No woman has ever sat on the throne of Zazzau, and you will not be an exception.
Who gave that order?
Or is that what you want? So be it.
I am Amina. Do not presume that you have authority over what I do or not do.
Wow. I can only say, wow, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to come out on the 4th of November. That's just 4 days away. Okay. So if you're watching now and you've not got Netflix, well, sorry, you're missing out. Okay. It's Amina. We're going to be talking about the powerful queen of Zazzau, with the producer of these wonderful pieces you just seen, who is Okechukwu Okey Ogunjiofor. Okay, I saw that when I first saw that trailer. The first time I saw the trailer, I was filled with excitement. Not just because I'm going to be seeing a film made by a Nigerian on Netflix, but I'm going to be seeing an historical film about a very controversial woman, a very great woman, a woman not a lot to be said about, even though we claim to have read about her, but quite a lot of stuff we read about her where just here and there, there's nothing that's been really explicit, something that's really been precise about Queen Amina. But this movie is changing everything. It's changing the narrative about who this wonderful great woman is. Question: why did you decide on Queen Amina of all historical figures? And the second question that's quite related to that. And I'm going to quote from your director, Izu Ojukwu. Izu said, in 2015, when Okey told me about his desire to bring Amina to the screen, and I wondered how I could come aboard, I knew this was something and I had to. Though wary of the fact that recreating a bygone era will always be a daunting task, I was, however, energized with the knowledge that Okey and his researcher, Shola Ojewusi, have been seeking deeper roots of Queen Amina since 1996. You started preparation for this movie coming out November next month, 2021, in 1996. Tell us.
Yeah, very true, very true. Okay, fine. I'm going to tell you, it's a very long tale, so I hope people will be patient. Now, first and foremost, when you hear about women empowerment, you hear about the girl child education and empowerment, you should look as if it's alien to Africa. But it's not only in Africa. What happens here always is that the colonial masters and the Western world have a way of taking what is our original, um, what I can call original pleasures, things that are very close to us that we originated. And then they take it, turn it around and sell it to us. The same thing, the same way
Hmm.
they take our cocoa and turn it into beverages and sell them to us at higher prices. It's the same thing. They take our stories, turn it around, complicate things, and sell something else to us, and we begin to grapple with that. So if you look at
Hmm.
what is going on all over the world, you find that goal 3 of the Millennium Development Goal the Millennium Development Goal 3 of the United Nations talks about women empowerment. Why are we talking about women empowerment when the continent of Africa, from the 14th century BC, 13th up to recently, women have been in the saddle of leadership all over Africa? Begin
Yeah.
from the days of Joseph in Egypt. You'll find the Nefertiti, Queen Nefertiti of Egypt. You'll find Empress Candace of Ethiopia. You will find Queen Sheba, the one that made Solomon in the Bible. You will
Hmm.
find Asante Boa of Ghana. You will find Amina of Zaria, which is Zazzau, Nigeria. You will find Rana Loba of Madagascar. You will find Beatrice of Congo. You will find so many Tunisinga,
Yeah.
all of them ruled in Africa. There are too many to mention.
Hmm.
Now, so if Africa over the years, over the centuries, we are ruled by women, who then should be selling women empowerment to the world if not Africa? At what point then did we lose this capacity to empower our women that the Igbos are now going to be the ones selling such to us? And then you will ask yourself, why is it that with all the exploits of these African women over the years, nowhere in the history of Africa now, or even the continent of Africa, can you find women holding their own in sports, in entertainment, in businesses, in
Politics.
manufacturing, maybe in politics, in education? Just a few. So you ask yourself this question. So now that's the premise why this thing is very important to me. Then, but in 1996, when Miriam Abacha, the first lady of Nigeria, went to Beijing for Beijing conference, and they returned with some affirmative action they needed to take. They published it to the presidency that they wanted to make a film and write a book about women empowerment. And I saw it in the newspaper. By that time, I've gotten fed up of making films, Nollywood movies, because I have not made any money. So why should I continue making movies where I don't make money since I do not have the resources to make this? So I wanted to get to the federal government and please get a commission job so that I can even add value to my life. So I wrote to the presidency and they responded. My son was, my first child was about 6 months old. My marriage was just less than 2 years when this happened. But I wrote them and they responded to me and said, this is a wonderful idea. But you see, one thing, like you said, is that Amina is a very controversial figure. Out of all the women that when in achievers that we have in Africa, especially in Nigeria, the one that stands out so much is Amina. But she's saddled with a lot of controversial stories around her. Now,
Hmm.
but Amina epitomizes everything that is alluring and endearing to the cause of empowering women. In every aspect, Amina stood out. But except that everybody has actually did it, so that became the challenge they had. They said to me, we like the story, but we can't give you
Hmm.
money. But if you can go and bring us a research that harmonizes all the stories about Amina, the one that is most acceptable to all the North and Nigeria, then we can partner with you to produce a film. So I said, okay, but I need something from you. I need a letter or letter introducing me to all the emirs, all the historians, all the learned gentlemen in the north that I will want to talk to in order to get these professors and dons in the university. So they obliged me and they wrote me letters. I compiled the names of all these people, I wrote them. And then they gave me these letters. I began to travel with my researcher on my MBA, sourcing for money from every place I can find it. The little one I can get from the things I do on the side, I will deploy, fly to the kind of fly. And when I went to these places, it appeared that there was some sort of conspiracy not to allow this woman. So anyway, you mentioned they treat it as if you say you're talking for something that you're looking for something that is not worthy of being discussed at all. But
Could that
except
be
for the
okay?
fact
Could
that
that
they
be?
don't
Could that be?
get me
Sorry,
wrong,
okay.
Labata was a feared gentleman.
Sorry, okay. Could that be because Amina was a woman?
Go ahead.
Could that be the case?
Now you have just hit the nail at the head. Now, like I said, women reign in all of Africa.
Hmm.
Now, but at what point did women stop reigning in Africa? And I don't want to. There are certain things I won't say here because if I say them, um, the whole world will some part of it will go in flame. Because some group, some people, some form of beliefs do not believe that a woman actually can hold sway. And that was why at a certain point, if you look at Nigerian culture and African culture, it was at a time a certain religion entered into Africa that women stopped their reign.
Hmm.
And I leave it to solve that mathematics. You won't believe
Okay.
that. Right?
Yeah.
Now, so but what happened was
Okay.
that if you look at the life and times of Amina, the father reigned in 15th century. From the day the father died and Amina took over, it was 34 years of reign. If you go to Zazzau Chronicles and Kano Chronicles, you won't find anything about her name mentioned in these 34 years until she died. And another king
Wow.
took over the name. So you ask yourself, is that a conspiracy not to immortalize this woman or even give her a place in history? Now, if you mention the monument that was that's at the National Theatre, that's the only thing you can find that is visible about her. She's not on our money, except of course some her name on the university hostel for female hostels in the
Hostess for
university,
women.
Queen
Yeah.
Amina Hall. There's no
Hmm.
other thing celebrating this woman. And so when you don't celebrate a woman who has done this well in the life, yes, how do you then aspire, inspire the other younger women coming so they can aspire for greater ideas?
Hmm.
So these are the issues. So I decided that I'm going to do this thing to empower the girl child, to tell the story of this woman in a way, because when I was researching this story, I found out some truths. One of the controversies that I had was that she was sleeping with men and killing them. But that was a horrible fallacy contrived in order to paint her permanently black and obliterate her image and memory. What was happening was that because of the fact that they didn't want to see a woman rule over them, and but she was a very powerful person that you can't stop. So what they did was they kept planting enemies in the name of lovers. So enemies
And
go to
spies.
propose, go
Hmm.
to woo her, and she falls in love like a normal human being. But then, yes, but then after some time, she discovered that these are legal enemies who are part of the traditions and culture that want to bring her down. As a military strategist, she executes them. And then after some time, she thinks she healed from that wound. She falls in love again until she did it about 3 times and decided that no, it's over with me and love. So she didn't marry, and they started saying another name went out. She's a homophobe. She can't stay with her now, and she doesn't have this. So many stories. But we're able to bring all those to light, and Amina is coming in trilogy. This is the first part of Amina that you want to see, the girl child, her growing up years. So you are not going to see so much. This thing people are seeing that they are shouting, there's nothing yet coming until we do the two other parts that remain. And these two other parts, the second one is the warrior, Amina the warrior. And after which we do Amina the legend. These are the three parts. So when you finish watching these three parts, you then know who Amina is. For now, I'm only going to serve what are the impetus, what are the things that gave her the impetus, the foundation the parents laid, what are the What are the reasons why this woman, this young lady, became this politically strong and militarily intelligent? What was the society that formed her? What happened around that time? So those are the things we took her and she sat on the throne. And what are those things that she needed to fight? Those cultural things that limited women from being heard and being seen. You know, what were they? So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do Amina. Then the second thing is that one I said it for women and the girl child. The second thing is when you look at the history of Nollywood, you will find out that the North and the South have dichotomy when it comes to creativity. So
And I was
everything
going
the
to
North
ask that question.
did as things, creative products, never came to the. It doesn't come. It doesn't cross over to the South. So, so, and whatever we do here also doesn't cross over to that. They see us as a different group of people who are not. That is, it's like talking about water and oil mixing together. It's been very difficult. So I decided that as a trailblazer, my job on this mountain of culture is to make sure that every hill is around you as the trailblazer. Of course, I'm the king of this mountain, whether people like it or not. I am going to solve every problem I can find as much as I can until I am no more. So, what is my solution? I decided to tell an, an African story, a Nigerian story, but I'm going to tell a northern story. But I'm going to be using southern crew members, 86 of them, and I'm going to be recruiting 86 northern Kannywood actors, 1,000 Kannywood actors, and 86 Nollywood um, crew members to tell a common story of our common heritage and put it there in the world so that I can demonstrate to Kannywood and Nollywood that when you come together for a common cause, we will be, the one is that the ecosystem for the film industry will be enlarged so much. The market will become too big for all of us. And then we can then begin to write all those things that tell our story culturally to the whole world, so without minding where you're coming from. When I finish this one, the Amina trilogy, I'm going to be doing other things in Nigeria that will wow people because there are a lot of stories to tell. And these stories are not cheap. That's why people are running away from them because they can't master the type of capacity and the type of resources that you need to tell your story. But we must grapple with these things, and that's why I'm here.
I don't say, okay, apart from you being a trailblazer, a pioneer, you're also a brilliant. If people do not know, you're already doing that. Because it's very interesting. Just like you mentioned, Queen Amina is from Zozo, the northern part of Nigeria, present day Kaduna State. Aside you, we've had the great Erabo Emokwe, the one that done the monument in the national, who obviously is from the south of Nigeria.
Yeah.
We've got Tobias Iyoboshe, who I told you built a game about Queen Amina. You are there, also from the southern part of Nigeria. You are telling a story about probably the most important woman ever to come out of the northern part of Nigeria. And probably
Yeah.
one of the most important women ever to come out of Nigeria too. We know about Emota, Queen
Yeah.
Idia, and all that. And when I said I was going to come to that question about this dichotomy between Nollywood and Kannywood, and there's no unity, and people like you are coming in, and obviously, my question is coming from the southeast, and especially at a time like this where there's so much disunity in Nigeria, and the southeastern is telling a story of Luna, and that's why I've said to you that you're no longer a trailblazer, you're no longer a pioneer, you're a bridge builder. You're bridging a bridge across Niger, you know, and that's what we're preaching about, unity of Nigeria. So, what challenges did you face a Southerner
Oh,
coming over to the north to tell a story about a Northerner?
too many challenges. Too many challenges. Now, if it was another person who wrote to the federal government in 1996 to make a thing, they will of course give money. They won't ask him to go on a wild goose chase to check the story. And you understand? And I tested for this long because at certain points in time, it became difficult for these people to tell me the story. You will go to an area with a letter, and for 1 week you've not seen him. And every morning he will ask you to come and resume his office, and you sit down there and wait, and you will not be attended to. They know how to wait you out, wear you out until you decide to voluntarily walk away. So that it will be that you're the one who walked away. It's not that they didn't. You'll be the one who is not patient enough. But you see, I am not just focused on what I want to do. I am resilient and dogged and painstaking enough to wait for whatever I want. It doesn't matter how long it takes. And that's one of the reasons why when they couldn't bear my nuisance around them anymore, so to say, they decided to tell me the little they can. But then I go another place, I get the little I can. Before you know it, I put them together. I have done a book on Amina, just in order so that the secondary school girls can learn. But you see, if I was also another person who wrote a book on Amina, it will enter into the national curriculum.
Hmm.
But I'm finding it difficult now to even sell it. So what I do now is give it to as many people as possible so that they can read. Because as many people as I can read this book, even if it's free. Some days it may be years after I'm gone that someone will say this book is good enough to teach people. But let me say this. The problem I had initially was money, which they didn't give me. The second one was getting the story. But as I continued to persevere, I got to a point where I finished all my money, yet I have not finished the story. So I reached out to Masoma Africa Foundation, who then were having meetings with the United States of America, USA, in Nigeria. And they introduced me to Kennedy Center, Washington, who came in and gave me some money. They gave me some grant, quite well, at that moment, a lot of money. So that I continue to do that research. And they flew in two of their directors to come and see what I'm doing in order so that they can take a right to go and put that particular antenna on a stage on Kennedy Center Washington. So in order to make it authentic, they needed to come here and follow me to all the emirs I talked to in order to authenticate the story themselves with letters. It was
Wow.
when these foreign people came, Alicia Adams and Dr. Tracy, you can Google them, came into this country, that all the doors began to fly open and all the pictures I have of the aliens began to be taken because initially, who was I that they can come out to show. I wish I can send you the picture of how old I was then. So you see, who am I even that they should come and talk to me? But eventually,
Wow.
that's the way God works. God opened this door. And now, for this number of years, I've been looking for this money. Okay, fine. When Abacha died in 1998, the job almost was finished because no more hope. But Miss Abubakar, who came in then, now said as the first lady that they were not going to stay long. They were going to hand me over to whoever will come because their duty is just to organize an election and step aside, which they did. Obasanjo came in. But Obasanjo now is not somebody who is not. He had a lot of job to do, and they weren't even talking about entertainment. So that's how that job died from federal government. And they wrote me a letter and pulled out completely.
Wow.
I was devastated. Now, but I continued keeping the dream alive, continued doing my research as much as I can get the research. But what happened was that suddenly, Bank of Industry now said they wanted to, um, of course, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala when he was in power, the finance minister in 2013, they rebased Nigeria economy and found that Nollywood was doing so well. So they wanted to keep money into it. That was how they raised about 3 billion naira grants.
To
And I
Nollywood.
applied to make a film in Amina. And they gave me a very little sum. But you see, I am so grateful for that sum because without that, I wouldn't have left anything. With that little
Hmm.
sum, I moved into the north and began to try to do auditions. With that small money, I knew my budget was huge. But if I don't start something, take a step of faith, people may not believe that I have something to do because for this long I've never taken such step of faith. So I went to Lagos, I went to Kaduna, thinking that if I do the audition there, at least to talk to Erufai, Governor Erufai, and any other governors, like when I was sitting in jobs, they will come in. But I did all that and nobody gave me a chance. I met about 5 governors in the north. But you know they don't want to pay the story. So why are you not going to talk to them? What but challenges came again when I went to Jos to shoot this film. The problem that started in 1996 was why would it be an Igbo man? What do you even know about our culture they want to tell the story? Why would it not be an awesome man telling the story? Even now that we're filming the film, the story is why is it not told in Hausa? So a lot of controversy. So when I got to the north, having finished, another problem was how do I get the building? How do I get semblance of yesterday's Amina days building that I can recreate? Only the place I could find it was in Mokina in Jos. Because in Mokina they had every hut from every town or tribe in this country in Mokina. So you can go and look at the buildings of those days and then go and repair. So that's what I did. And when I got after building and it collapsed and we built again, then we now got 1,000 citizens of the street. You know you can't get 1,000 actors at the same time, so you need to begin to train them. So we needed to train these people for 3 months on how to ride horses at least before we now train them on how to wield horses, knives, swords on horses to fight while you're running. You know, those are terrible. It's difficult time for me. You know, because it's not easy. You know, you will assume that everybody in the north will know how to ride horse. But when you get there, you find out that most people do not know. So it became another job for me. Then how would these people believe you? So I hired some people who, even on myself, were trying to scuttle the production of Amen because there's still part of
Wow.
the cabal who will not want to see. But you know,
Wow.
I, I behave like Nepalese people. I don't fire people. What I do is that if I find out that you are plotting against me, because you see, the moment I fire somebody on any set I'm doing or any work I'm doing, you make an enemy. I don't do that. I keep you on the job, but I'm going to take away every information from you. I will take every power. You will be alive. You will be around. You will be walking, but you will not get any instruction from me to do anything. So if we stay on that set for 6 days, 1 week, 1 month, and you're eating and you're waking up, no assignment is given to you, um, you will find a way. Nobody will tell you to do. So there were a lot of people who didn't want this content made. People came, did one scene, and just so that they can hold up to that song, they left the production.
Wow.
Major scene. And you know how much it takes to make a scene, to make a scene. Gather the whole people, shoot a scene, and someone away. People call people who were supposed to be on that set not to come, so that someone will travel and leave us having shot one scene, decide not to come to that set for about another 2 weeks. And I
Wow.
keep people in hotel, feeding them, and I'll go begging. I'll go to people who know people who know people who know him to beg, to beg, to beg until they stop. And it's not because of money, it is just because somebody has told them something. How will it be this in Yemen that is coming to do this? How are we sure that it became a problem of culture. It became a problem of religion. It became a problem of Igbo man. You know, they want to come and wash your head again. This Igbo man, he wants to come and and he's a Christian. Why? So a whole lot of things went on. But prayerfully, every day I go on my knees to God, and I'm telling this story today because of the grace of God on this production. Because everything that will go bad from beginning has been going bad. But at this time, those things rear their heads. God will show us, and somehow we'll make a way. Have the Red Sea for us, and we'll continue moving. That's how. So when that grant came to me, and I used the little one I can to start something, then suddenly God opened Bank of Industry to say that they want to give some money for people, and without production for the first time, who I approached them, and by the grace of God, they gave me money. Not all, but what they gave me now became the seed money that took me to just to begin shooting. While I was shooting, I was then looking for other partners and investors to come in, which is why it has taken me 6 years of working, you know, but then we wanted to make it right. So I brought in a few foreign nationals. My DOP came from Austria. My sound person came from Germany. Because I know that two aspects of our profession that the whole world has already criticized is picture, lighting, picture, and sound.
Sound.
So, so I needed to correct that. So I brought people, young people, to put under these two professionals that to understudy them for a tutelage of about 3 or 4 months. So that when they leave, we can also have people who can replicate the same thing they have done. So that's one of the things we did, and then we now went to get the post-production done very well in United States of America, San Francisco, and then we did the special effects in Canada and all of that. So it's almost like a three-continent type of job, or should I say, yeah, Nigeria, Africa, Europe, and America come together to make the thing. And so it's not yet fantastic, but because where we're going is
Uh,
great,
uh,
and I'm seeing that this is just the beginning of the place we can
okay. You surpass all expectations. This service is not just an ordinary service. He's a Nigerian that's telling the Nigerian story to the world. And obviously, he's not just doing Southeast of Nigeria proud. You're doing the whole of Africa, the black man proud. And we're very proud of what you're doing. And we're looking forward to the trilogy of Amina. And we wish you all the very best, all the very best. We're looking forward to November 4th. We're telling our friends in the UK, in America, everywhere, rest of the Europe, to please make sure on the 4th, stay tuned. Something big is coming out of not just Nigeria, but the whole of Africa. Something the black man is going to be proud of. Something the black woman is going to be very, very proud of. We're telling the story of a very strong, vibrant, great, but controversial woman. Because why? Because we want to lift every girl child. We want to lift them up. We want to show them that something good can come out of what they are doing. Okay, thank you so much for your time. We will need to bring you back again. We will bring you back again. We'll talk more about this.
do.
And
Anytime.
we're also going to talk more about your book. Okay, maybe next time when we bring you, we're going to talk about the book. Okay, it's just also written a book about Amina. Please be on the lookout for it. This book is going to be out to Nigerian students to know more about this great warrior king, or sort of warrior queen, who obviously stretch the zones, the lands of the north, even all the way to North Africa. A lot of people did not know about her, did not know about her. But okay, is telling this story. It's coming out on the 4th of November on Netflix. Okay, Peter Day. Okay, thank you so much for all you have done. Thank you for coming to the program, and we will call upon you again to speak with you. That's
Thank
our
you
show
so
for
much.
today. We've spoken to Okey Ogunjiofor, who is the producer of the up-and-coming Netflix blockbuster called Amina. It's coming up on the 4th of November, just a few days from now. And that's the show for today. We're sorry about the sound problem. It's just that we're here in the UK and obviously talking to Nigeria, so there's that sound problem. But I hope you've enjoyed this program. Please don't forget, like I said, make sure you tune in to Netflix on the 4th of November when you watch this program. We'll be bringing Okay back definitely. He's going to be telling us quite a lot about what his project is, what this ongoing project. Amina is going to be a trilogy. Amina book is coming out, and a lot coming out of that beautiful country called Nigeria. Thank you for this show, for being with us on the show. Don't forget to like us and subscribe to us. I want to say a very special thanks to my friend and colleague and producer of this program, Yomi Omogeja. Thank you, Yomi, for this. And please join us next week when we come again and anyway show. Till then, have a wonderful week. Bye bye.